Oh my goodness, I am super late for this live stream. I don't understand why I am super late. Hi, everybody. Hi. We're supposed to start like 20 minutes ago, but I was just having trouble setting up my internet. It wasn't really connecting very well. But if you can hear me, please do send a shout out. I guess from the title, you already know what I'm going to talk about. It's actually breaking news here in South Africa. US President Donald Trump says South Africa won't be invited to attend the 2026 G20 Summit. He also announced that all payments and subsidies from the United States to South Africa will be stopped with immediate effect. And we all know what these subsidies are. One in particular that stands out for me, except for PEPFAR and HIV program and health department or health organizations that the United States is funding in South Africa. One in particular, one subsidy that stands out for me the most is AGOA. I know the Boers are not going to be happy that the little AGOA funds have stopped. The farming subsidies have stopped. I know they're not going to like that. So that makes me happy. That really makes me happy. So yeah, Donald Trump wrote on his social media pages, Truth and Something. He said, no more PEPFAR, no more payments made from South Africa to the United States or to the United States to South Africa. Everything is coming to a halt. And to make matters worse, South Africa is not allowed or is not invited to the next G20 summit next year, which will be held in the great city of Miami, Florida. Yep. Trump openly declared that South Africa will not be allowed to participate in the next G20 meeting under his administration. Trump uninviting South Africa from the next G20 is hilarious. Like, these are hilarious, diluted ravings from a madman who hates the fact that the rest of the G20 chose him. The rest of the G20 chose us, South Africa, chose Ramaphosa over him, and factual reality over his silly fantasies about the white genocide. Now, I am here to just quickly cover what you need to know about this feud that the United States has with South Africa. Now, let's break down the real reasons why we are not invited to the next G20 meeting that will be held next year in the great city of Miami in Florida. Number one, I think South Africa's relationship with China, Russia, and this whole BRICS nation really got to Trump. It made Washington uncomfortable. And we all know that Washington has been uncomfortable with BRICS for years now, especially now that BRICS is expanding and openly challenging Western dominance. South Africa's partnership with China and Russia, two mortal enemies of the United States, threatens the US influence on the continent of Africa. America doesn't want an Africa that thinks independently. It wants an Africa that listens. So now China and Russia's influence in Africa threatens that dominance that America or the Western world thinks it has in Africa. And the Western world cannot afford an independent Africa. Are you still with me? Two, South Africa taking Israel to the International Court of Justice is one of the biggest reasons why we are barred in the next G20 that is coming. It is one of the main reasons. I think it is the main reason why America has so much beef with South Africa. Us taking Israel to the International Court of Justice really pissed America off. South Africa filed a genocide case. If you don't know, South Africa filed a genocide case against Israel at the ICJ, and that shook the Western world because for the first time, a global South nation stood up against a Western ally on the world stage, and the US did not forgive that. So let's be clear. Washington protects Israel at all costs. So when South Africa accused Israel of crimes against humanity in Gaza, that was the final straw that broke the camel's back. That's the main reason why America is really pissed at us. It's not because of the white genocide lie. No, I don't think the Boers are that influential in the Western world to get Trump's attention, but they are used as a vehicle to peddle this rage that America has against South Africa. So America won't blurt it out and say, "Oh, we are bothering or we are bullying South Africa because South Africa took our ally to the ICJ." They won't openly admit that. So they use the white genocide lie to try to peddle their rage against South Africa. So Trump and other US conservatives have been pushing the narrative that there is a white genocide happening in South Africa. They claim, and I quote, "White farms are being taken without compensation. Whites are being murdered for being white. The government is persecuting white farmers, targeting white farmers." But the truth is, South Africa's crime crisis affects everybody. Townships suffer, rural areas suffer, farms suffer because they are isolated, not because they are white. This is not a genocide. This is America weaponizing race to justify interference. And remember, we spoke about this, how America will make a big spectacle, a big hoo-ha-ha on international stages to justify invading a country. Exactly that. So, so I guess Donald Trump really thinks that he has power. I think Donald Trump tells himself that he has the proxy, the final say to ban South Africa from attending the G20 Summit that will be held in America next year. But I think someone in the comment section needs to tell Donald Trump that South Africa is a founding G20 member since 1999. Attendance isn't by invitation, it's a permanent seat, you dummy. We don't need invitations to attend the G20. We are the founding members. We are part of the founding members of the G20 since 1999. We don't need an invitation. The G20 is a diplomatic platform, not one of his rallies and the international, in one of those international rallies that he likes hosting once in a blue moon to try to garner favor from other countries so that he can have lots of allies, so that America can be seen as this big bully on these international stages. And yeah, the G20 is not that. The G20 is not a vehicle or a platform where people can now hash out their political dissatisfaction. It is really not that. So yeah, no, it really needs to come down. They really, really need to come down. So I think America missed the whole point. Them fighting their political battles using the G20 summit is not going to fly with a lot of other leaders. That I can assure you. And this might actually lead to the failure of the next G20 summit in America. America will be seen as the country that failed to host a G20 summit and failed to put aside their differences for the greater good of the world. America is well on its way there. So the G20 is a diplomatic platform, as I have mentioned. It's not a place to settle scores. And besides, the international community won't rearrange itself to soothe his ego. That he must forget. America missed the G20 game entirely, but suddenly wants to hand South Africa a red card. It wants to make decisions while it has not participated in the G20. They want to dictate how things should be run without them attending. Because I remember Trump was like, "Hey, I know I did not attend the whole summit, but I would love for America to be involved in the closing ceremony, to be headed in the referendums and everything." And South Africa is like, "No, the protocol is you attend the G20 from the start to the finish. You can't just come at the end and now dictate where we must hand in our documents, where we must hand in the referendum, no, you can't come here. You can't suddenly want to hand South Africa a red card. For what? Referees make decisions on the pitch, not spectators shouting from outside the stadium because they didn't feel like entering the stadium and playing the game. South Africa showed up, captained the team, scored goals diplomatically, and handed over the match ball properly to the next country that will host the G20. The US didn't attend the fixture but now want to rewrite the score lines. That's not how it works. That's not how the game is played. That is not how politics works. You can't just not want to attend the whole fixture and you want to rearrange the scoreline. Who gets to get invited on the next G20? I did not like what this was saying. I did not like the country that suggested this about global warming, and now we want to say this. And you did not attend, so you have no right to dictate how things should be moved forward. Am I making myself clear? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm rambling. Maybe you guys can help me in the comment section. America has a big problem. America, you have a problem. Let me read the comment section. Okay, so HTN3JAV says you're on your own and will have to figure out how to survive your drying up world with your own wits. Okay, Donald Trump is a crybaby as punk. Okay, language. So I feel like honestly, America's outcry and outburst is it's getting boring. You can tell we are dealing with a weak empire on its knees. The United States is never going to be a global hegemony again. They are incapable of taking on China, whether it's technology or military. They cannot take China on. And at this point, they are also struggling to take Russia on. So at this point, there'll never be the global hegemony again. They will never dominate the global economy ever again. No one is going to be a subservient to America. At this point, I feel like America, we are dealing with a perception. When it comes to America and how we can define America, we are dealing with a perception. They are not as powerful as they think they are. Economically, they are crippled, especially now with the tariff wars happening between China and some parts of the eastern countries with America, and America pausing the stock market so that their friends can make money and then resuming them again. That kind of like dampened the economy a little bit. That literally shifted the United States market a little bit. So America, low key, it's on the broke side. They are almost broke. So at this point, people, I want you to understand that we are dealing with a perception. They've put up a perception that they are the greatest. They are the big brother. They are the global economy. They are dominant. So everybody still has that idea that America is this one great country that once rose from the collapse of the stock market, from the collapse of Wall Street in 1929. So they once got rose from that clutter, and they've passed through the golden ages and they've made it through very well economically. But I can assure you, the America back in before this the crash of Wall Street and the America right now is totally different. They have collapsed. They do not have the willpower anymore. They are not the global hegemony anymore. It's just perception at this point. It's all back, no bite. And I wish other countries, especially in the third world countries, they could realize that America is no more the land of the dreams. It's no more a concrete jungle where dreams become a reality. We don't have to run away from our homes anymore to make it big in Hollywood. We are Hollywood. We are taking over. And I think countries like China and Russia have demonstrated that. So honestly, America, they can keep their aid or the AGOA or their subsidies. We really don't care. Black people, we know poverty. We have gone through trials and tribulation. By the way, we have fought through scraps. We have fought through nothing. We have fought through poverty, and we are resilient, and we've made it. The same can't be said for white people. White people have never been poor. That's why when Trump has cut off subsidies from the United States to South Africa, the Boers got touched because they know that they participate heavily in the AGOA Pact. They own big farms that produce and export these produces to America. They know they participate in this economy. They know that their livelihood depends on AGOA. And now Trump cutting that off, it really pissed them off. But at the end of the day, they have nobody but themselves to blame. They are the ones that ran their big mouth to Washington, D.C. and lied on these international stages about a white genocide. This is America retaliating and say, hey, we have a genocide in South Africa. Let us stop all finances. Let us stop all funding. And let's see how they'll go. So white people have no right to blame the ANC for the AGOA Act or the AGOA Pact to have reduced or they've been cut off. They have no one to blame but themselves. I hope I'm making sense. So in regards to South Africa being banned to the G20 Summit next year that will be held in Miami, the president Cyril Ramaphosa wrote his own statement and released it on X, and he described this statement made by Donald Trump, this banning that Donald Trump is busy prancing on social media. Cyril Ramaphosa described it as regrettable. He says the announcement by U.S. President Donald Trump that South Africa would not be invited to take part in the next year's G20 summit in Florida is regrettable. It's unsavory. Now, South African officials have called for solidarity and urged other G20 members to defend the integrity of the gathering and the rights of all its members and its member states. They've called everybody to say, hey, you attended a great summit in South Africa, and here's this man barking. By the way, this man did not even set foot in South Africa, so he does not even know what has been discussed, but he's barking, saying we are not invited. It's not like we did anything wrong in this year's summit. If anything, all countries are happy with South Africa. The president further hit back at the illiterate Trump by saying, no nation has absolute power over another nation. We are all equal in the G20. America does not have the proxy to disinvite anybody. As a matter of fact, South Africa has a permanent seat in the G20 and it does not need no invitations to attend such. So I need y'all to understand that the president says we will not be bullied in our own land. We will not be bullied in our own state. We are a sovereignty. We are a state that is independent and we do not rely on the United States of America to make political decisions. We can be friends with whoever. So what, your feelings are hurt? So what, we opened a case against you in the International Court of Justice? So what, we are part of BRICS nation? So what, Russia and China are the greatest allies South Africa has ever had? And so what, that China and Russia are using South Africa to have a greater impact on the rest of the continent? So what? So what, we are not here to fight that. The G20 is something separate. You want a conversation, you invite South Africa to the White House, or better yet, you come here in South Africa and show us where the genocide is. But I know Donald Trump will never come to South Africa. Donald Trump will never, ever come to South Africa because he will be physically embarrassed at the fact that there is no genocide. He can't set foot in South Africa because he knows that there is no genocide. I mean, South Africa with the greatest, the United States with the greatest intelligent and the most sophisticated technology, they still believe that there is a genocide despite other human rights agencies disputing that fact. No, there's a big agenda going on. His behavior, honestly, will fracture global relations, prompting some nations to rally behind South Africa. I mean, in the long run, it will push South Africa to pursue new opportunities and alternative markets elsewhere. This may push us, South Africa, into BRICS even further, deeper into the African alliances, deeper into self-reliance, because you cannot bully a nation that has already decided to stand for something. You cannot. You cannot bully us into withdrawing that case in the International Court of Justice. You cannot. If anything, you're going to push us in the hands of Russia and China. If anything, you're going to push us deeper, further into BRICS. Since the formation of the Government of National Unity with the DA that is favoring the United States, South Africa has been tethering the lines of whether to withdraw from the BRICS nation or to stay in. So right now, the way Trump is moving and the way we are made to not feel welcome in this relationship that we have, or with this alliance that we have, or diplomatic ties with America, it's going to push us further into African alliances. It's going to push us further into self-reliance. It's going to push us further to actually be steady with our stance in BRICS. I hope I'm making sense. And you know what is nice about this whole thing? I want to show you what Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney said about this whole white genocide nonsense, in support of South Africa. I want to show you what he said. Basically, Mark Carney, my screen does not want to share. That is so weird. That is so weird that my screen does not want to share, but it's okay. So Mark Carney supported South Africa. So Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney said that this year's G20 Summit in Johannesburg, South Africa turned out really good, and the absence of the United States signals that the center of gravity in the global economy is shifting. And they further said that Canada is supporting South Africa, and they're supporting this gravity in the global economy, this shift in the gravity of the global economy. They are supporting it. As a matter of fact, they are happy Donald Trump was not in attendance. They're happy that the United States was not in attendance with the G20 Summit. And hey, I love that for us. Sana. Let me read the comments. Denise Marsh 8412 says, yeah, he embarrassed. That's why he didn't come to the G20 summit. Of course, that's why he did not come to the G20 summit, because he'll be physically embarrassed. He won't be able to pinpoint where is the genocide. Other leaders in other leaders from parts of the world, they came to South Africa and they saw that there is no genocide. So what makes you think that in the next G20 they'll look forward to going to America when there's already drama ensuing? They will be turned off to even go to the United States of America. So yeah, no, I am so glad that Canada spoke out in support of South Africa. And besides, if anything, Trump is dampening the mood for every country that looks forward to attending the G20 summit next year in Miami. He is literally putting his political aspirations above the work that needs to be accomplished by the G20 leaders. And this will definitely put a wet blanket to those looking forward to attend, as I've mentioned earlier. It might turn off the majority of the leaders, and they might not want to attend because no one wants to entertain a Bravo TV drama. Like, honestly, no one wants to sit through the Real Housewives of Trump's ranting and ravings. No one wants to be center stage in these housewife drama. He's literally a housewife. He's literally a housewife. All he needs to do is do video diaries, and then we'll be watching a reality show from Bravo TV. Honestly, I foresee a terrible turnout in any major events hosted in America next year, and this includes the FIFA World Cup as well. Because tell me why Marco Rubio is already telling football fans from all over the world that they will be heavily monitored. Their visas is not a will for them to travel and tour the United States. They are already tightening visa requirements and restrictions for fans. They've spoken to Homeland Security to put in place systems that will restrict movements. So honestly, it's really not worth the stress, guys. Already we are made to not feel welcome. We are not feeling welcome to go to the United States for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So why bother ourselves? Why bother ourselves with a country that does not make us feel welcome? Why isn't FIFA moving the location for the World Cup? Why are they not putting on Mexico or Canada even? Canada is a friendly country. Canada is a friendly country, and I bet everybody would want to visit Canada and explore the culture there. I bet everybody would want to do that. So why bother ourselves in going to the United States? I'm telling you, already there's a wet blanket on the 2026 FIFA World Cup. That is just my chats. That is just my chats, to be honest with you guys. Anyway, so I don't know. America has dampened the mood for everybody in the world. Everybody does not want to be associated with a madman. And the sentiments can be echoed down to the G20 leaders. They don't want to deal with this madman. And by the way, since Trump is uneducated, illiterate, and an idiot, in order to ban South Africa from the G20 summit, Trump will need the approval of the other leaders in the G20. And after a great turnout at this year's summit in Johannesburg, I doubt anyone will want to do that. I doubt they'd want to do that. I doubt they'd want to pull the plug on South Africa. That is just my opinion. That is just my 2 cents. So it is what it is, fellows. It is what it is. It is what it is. He's such a sissy. I don't like him. Like, I really, really do not like him. Oh my gosh. And guys, have you heard that Trump or the Trump administration of the United States revoked our former Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Naledi Pandar's visa? He revoked it without any explanation. Like, literally, she just returned from a trip in the she was in the United States recently, and when she returned home, she was informed that you are no longer welcome in America. Why? Because Naledi Pandor is one of those leaders that will tell you in your face that we will not be bullied, will not be subdued. She was actually one of the most influential voices in making this International Court of Justice case a reality. She's the one that actually filed a case against Israel at the ICJ. She's the one that told Trump to his face that we will not be bullied. Just because you have allies there does not mean South Africa's allies should be your allies. Doesn't mean that we should bully you around. South Africa is not a province or a sub-country of America. It is not a territory of the Americas. Like literally, she said it right in her face. I was looking for right in his face. I was looking for that clip on TikTok. I couldn't find it. So yeah, Donald Trump one day just woke up and said, "We are revoking this woman's visa." It is on between South Africa and America. And now let us talk about AGOA. Let us talk about AGOA and how the Boers are pissed at the fact that yeah, there is no more free meat. Hmm? Can we talk about AGOA? Can we talk about South Africa being excluded from AGOA? This is some big news. By the way, this is big news. I want to share my screen with you guys. I want to share my screen with you guys just to show you that, yeah, it is about to go down. It is about to go down in the DM. Oh my God. Okay, the picture will just come out right now. I don't know, my internet is a bit slow today. But here we go. It is confirmed that South Africa is excluded from AGOA for now. Their reasons is that South Africa has close ties with China, which makes America does not like the fact that South Africa is the sitting chair of BRICS, and they have made quite a bond with Russia, even going as far as introducing Russia to other African countries and further expanding Russia's influence throughout the continent. Also said that this is John Kennedy, by the way, Senator John Kennedy. They further said that there's a white genocide, like I've explained, there's a white genocide where South African government is targeting white farms and confiscating their lands without compensation, and on top of that, they are killing them for having a white skin. Basically, black people in South Africa are killing white South Africans for being white, which is a lie. So they have decided to cut AGOA. Now, you know that your favorite Boers are part of the AGOA. They participate heavily. They are the ones in the export and import markets of produce in South Africa. They benefit heavily. So they were really pissed that their actions have actually, yield the fruit of consequences. And now the AfriForum Boers have the nerve to say, hey, ANC, well done. This is your fault for actually getting our subsidies like AGOA cut. This is your fault that Trump has unleashed a financial wrath on South Africa. But I say this is not South Africa. I mean, this is not President Ramaphosa's fault. This is not ANC's fault. This is not South Africa's fault, but AfriForum's fault. This is the Boers' fault. The Boers are the reason why AGOA got cut off. They are literally in the forefront of that. Remember, they were prancing their little asses in America recently? Remember that? Remember how they were prancing their little asses? In case you haven't forgotten, they were prancing their asses throughout Washington, D.C., busy submitting Malema dossiers, busy saying Malema is the reason why the country has entrenched itself in deep-rooted racial tensions. Remember that? When they were lobbying against South Africa in the White House during earlier this year, prompting our president, our busy president, to fly to Washington, D.C. to dispute nonsense. Remember that? Now that AGOA is cut off, whose fault is it? The nerve to even try to pin this on us. Because what? They fear equality. They ran on international stages live and said there's a white genocide because they feared equality in South Africa. They feared laws that were made to redress the past. They feared laws that were meant to redress the past and favor those that were previously disadvantaged by the apartheid government. They feared that the Constitution will finally act on their word. It will finally do what it was meant to do when they first made Mandela as the president back in 1994, the first black president, when they gave us our freedom. They gave us our freedom in words, but they never followed through with the Constitution. And now that the Constitution is meant to follow through, they cry wolf. Now that the laws and policies are now trying at least to favor and make it up for the black people, or make it up to the black people, they run their mouth on international stages and lie and say they are oppressed. They like using policy terminologies. They love to use the Constitution as a way to try and justify their lies, to try to justify entrenching or keeping apartheid policies and laws. Am I making sense? I want you guys to understand that they are very slick. They've found loopholes within the constitution to try and favor the apartheid policies in this newfound freedom that we are currently living in. That's what the DA always does. That's what the DA always does. Every time there's a law or a policy that is meant for redress, that is meant to favor the previously disadvantaged, they put out the constitution and say, well, the constitution says that this is not allowed. This is equity, 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 equity. That's what they do all the time. Read the constitution. The constitution says, because they know that they have created the constitution, they've written the constitution, they know that the constitution of South Africa has not really changed from the apartheid constitution to the 1993 constitution that was formed, yes, by Nelson Mandela back in 1993. Nothing has changed really. Nothing has changed really. We have our freedom on paper, but we are not living it. So that's why every time when we try to come up with policies and laws to redress the past, they'll bring out the constitution and say, well, you are violating human rights because the constitution says this. But they know damn well that the constitution never favored Black South Africans. It never favored us. They know very well. So, but I'm so glad that AGOA has the AGOA subsidy or the AGOA pact or the AGOA partnership is scrapped. I am so happy, and they have no one to blame but themselves. And I saw now, I'm going to do a segment about it this week. This is just an overview because, like I said, I saw this trending on social media today. I saw an X that, hey, the Boers are trending. I saw that Donald Trump is trending. I pieced 2 and 2 together, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just have to do a little segment to inform my people of what is really going on, and that Donald Trump is throwing tantrums. And Black Americans, you need to hold this man accountable. He cannot be allowed to go rampage throughout the world. The world is not his oyster. So I just came to tell, but during the week, I'll be breaking down the story. I'll be telling you why I think they revoked former Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Naledi Pandor, why they revoked her US visa. Yes, I'll be telling you about how this will, the AGOA subsidy or the AGOA partnership being cancelled or being temporarily shut down will impact the Boers and their businesses. Because they always say, we hire Black people, our farms hire Black people. We want to see that if indeed hiring Black people was out of the goodness of your own heart, or were you obliged to have slaves to work on your farms so that you can keep making money through AGOA, through the United States. We just want to see if you were genuine. Now that there's no funding, we want to see how genuine you are about hiring Black people and giving Black people a job. We want to see how genuine you are. I want to see how genuine you are. I just want to see how genuine they are. They're always boosting. Our farms hire more Black people than the government ever has hired them. Scrap BEE. Black economic empowerment policies are not working anymore. They are racially exclusive to white people. They exclude white people. So I just want to see, now that the AGOA partnership has been scrapped, did you hire Black people genuinely because you want to curb the high unemployment rate in South Africa, or you hired them to be slaves on your farms so that you can continue milking money from the United States through AGOA? I just want to see. I am so happy that it's scrapped. I am so happy that AfriForum Boers are scrambling to save their lives, all because they were stupid and they had to run their big fat mouth on these international stages and lie on our sovereignty. And you know what, Mr. President, now that we are still on this AGOA matter, I think that it's very fitting to declare AfriForum and the Solidarity Movement a terrorist organization, because everything that has been happening to our country can be accounted back to the Boers. They are the reason why we are in this mess in the first place. So I think it's safe enough to declare them a terrorist, because everything they've been doing is treasonous. They are a terrorist organization, just like the Nazi, just like the swastika. AfriForum should also be part of that list. I don't know. You can tell me, am I high or what? Let's participate in the comment section. Let's see. H3J. Okay, H3-J4V says, we are just primates. We aren't that advanced. So yeah, in that matter, I also want to do a segment about yes, how AfriForum and Solidarity should be declared national criminals. They should be declared a terrorist organization. And just like the swastika and everything they should be taboo. They should be taboo. That is just my 2 cents. Um, yeah. Let us participate in the comment section. Let us have this conversation. I feel like I'm having this conversation alone. Oh my Duke. I feel like I'm having this conversation alone, but that is just the gist of everything that I wanted to tell you what is happening in South Africa. We've been banned, but I feel like South Africa at this point should focus on the 2027 G20 Summit, because I have a feeling that America will make our lives difficult in terms of like entering America. My PC is running low. Okay, whatever. I think that at this point, there is no use for us fighting. It doesn't mean like we're backing down, doesn't mean that we are giving America the reins. No, but we're just being adults about this whole situation. I feel like from the bottom of my heart, there is no need for fighting. There is no need to fight our way into the United States. If South Africa is not welcome in the United States, then so be it. So we are so happy to skip out the G20 summit held in Miami next year. If anything, it will prove to the other leaders that we are dealing with a delusional man. And I'm telling you, nothing of utter importance will be discussed in the G20 summit except stroking America's ego and bending to the political will of America. That is certain. That is how it's going to be in the next year G20 summit. So I feel like we should focus on the 2027 G20 summit that will be held in the UK, where the adults will be housing this summit, where the adults will be discussing real problems that affect the globe, literally, where adults will be in participation. So like 2026 summit is going to be a childish minefield. Everyone is just going to be like, oh my gosh, this orange man again, he's just yapping about things he doesn't know about. The fact that they didn't attend this year's summit, how will they know what was discussed? How will they know what was discussed? Obviously, yeah, I know they share notes, obviously, but the fact that they skipped it out and now they have the honor of hosting it, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's giving favoritism. It's giving favoritism. I feel like if you did not attend this G20 summit because of your frivolous reasons, your low reasoning capacity, your lies, I feel like all the leaders should come together and say, hey, he did not attend this. So why should he attend? Why should he host the next one? Why should he do that? And on top of that, it's already starting on a dramatic note. He's pushing out statements, banning people, barring people as if he has the proxy to do that. He does not have the power. Like I said, they will never be the main players globally. The economy is flatlined, and I feel like a lot of leaders are waking up. I feel like South America has woken up to that fact. I feel like part of the Middle East has woken up to that fact. I feel like the Eastern countries like China, Tokyo, and everything, they've not Tokyo, sorry, China. What is this one? Korea, both South and North Korea have woken up to that fact. And now Africa, South Africa, the biggest economy in Africa, has woken up to that fact. So it's just a matter of time. So I think all leaders should just come together and say, hey, he did us a disservice last year in 2025. So this year in 2026, he's not hosting. There's no way we are attending while it's starting on this dramatic note. We are not doing that. I feel like it should come to that point. But anyway, South Africa, don't even sweat. Thank you, Mr. President, for actually releasing the statement and being an adult about it. We will see them in 2027, where an adult will be chairing the G20 summit. Yeah. So there's no need to fight to get in the United States. Like a lot of people aren't fighting to get into the United States anymore. Like I said, it's no more the concrete jungle where dreams are made of anyway. It's full of two-faced people. It's full of snakes. Feel like there's just a lot happening in the United States, to be honest. Well, I am going to log out right now, but I really just wanted to show you or give you the overview of what is truly happening. And I will go deeper into details this week. And I hope maybe to score an interview with one of the boards from AfriForum or Solidarity Movement, anybody, that sees themselves as innocent out of this whole catastrophe. I hope to score. I'll be working tirelessly to give you an exclusive interview with one of the Boers. I don't know if you all will be comfortable with having Boers on the platform. Will you guys appreciate having Boers on the platform, or should we just scrap it? You are not interested in hearing what they have to say. Their actions spoke louder than their words. All right, but I'll try to get you all an interview. Oh. So thank you so much for joining my live stream. I know it was very short. I usually go on for hours and hours. You know me, I never keep my mouth shut. But anyway, please do go to the Native Talk. It is my platform. It's on YouTube. It has been growing very fast. I thank you each and every person for subscribing. I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I'll work on giving you diverse content. I haven't been really fully active as of late because I have been working on something major that is coming your way. Well, if you're in South Africa, so yeah, keep looking out for me on these television streets. We've been shooting a beautiful movie for Netflix, so I'm really excited for that project to come out. That's why I was not active on my YouTube page, but now that everything is done and settled and it's the festive season and I feel like it's just going to be a quiet festive, I will try my best to give you updates of what is happening on this continent. And we speak everything African diaspora, the cultural landscape that form Africa, and your favorite South African destinations that I'll be traveling to this festive season just to showcase my beautiful province called Limpopo province and parts of Mpumalanga that I would like you guys to visit with me as your tour guide, of course. But until then, go to the description box below, click on the link, subscribe to the Native Talk, and I'll see you on the flip side. Thank you guys for listening to me. I'll go deeper into details about what we've spoken about. This was just an overview of what has been going on, and it's such a new story that I want to get my bearings right so we can have a fruitful discussion. But until then, have a fabulous evening. If you're in South Africa, I don't know what time it is there. Enjoy your weekend. Let's